Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and
Am I the only one who doesn't have any sound, or
Am I
you
audible? Hello?
you are audible? I am, but
Yep. I think we
I'm
lost Pratibhanji, so I'll take the lead here. Good afternoon, everyone.
okay.
Welcome to the sixth webinar of the IAA India chapter of our World Goes Digital series. And today we are delighted and privileged to welcome Mr. Ashish Hemrajani, the founder and CEO of Bigtree Entertainment, which most of us popularly know as bookmyshow.com. So, without further ado, I'll hand it to Ashish. I would request him to share his journey so far in the digital media space and any great learnings, and then we'll come to the other panelists.
So thanks for that. No pearls of wisdom or anything, but let me just take you through our journey, and I think that might make more relevant sense because it's real. I founded this company way back in 1999. So, by the way, we just won the ET award this morning, which was Startup of the Year. We are probably the oldest startups on earth because I'm 38 and we've been around for 14 years. Maybe it's a validation of Rod Stewart's song, which says "Forever Young," or Brian Adams' song "18 Till I Die." So we're probably one of the oldest startups, and we can hide behind the fact that we can serve you cheap coffee and get away with it because we're a startup. So but it's a great validation from our end consumers and ET. So I started this company way back in 1999. I was backpacking in South Africa, and I was at Storms River Valley, backpacking from Cape Town to Joburg, where I heard a radio commercial trying to sell rugby tickets online. And that's when the penny dropped, and it was like Buddha getting his enlightenment under a tree. And I came back to India, and I quit my job, and I had done my masters, and then started the company. Little did I realize that in India the environment is so tough that I wasn't that enlightened to actually take the plunge at the age of 24. So what we did was we got invested by Chase Capital Partners, JP Morgan, and the ecosystem didn't exist, and we didn't realize that. Uh, we used to buy inventory from cinemas, which was an opportunity loss business on the weekends, and we had an actual loss on the weekdays. There was no internet penetration or connectivity like it is today. Mobile telephones were not as used and present like they are today. Credit card, debit card penetration wasn't as great. Credit card, debit card, net banking. And even then, the price point of purchase was very high. So a movie ticket really didn't cut it to a lot of, the purchase price point cut off. So it was very harsh environment. But having said that, within that, we operated by really, we were a call center and home delivery sort of a company because we had 12 call centers in 12 cities. We had, if people are a barometer for success, we were 150 people by 2002, and then the dot-com bust happened. So it was not a model which was sustainable because in the internet business, you want to flatten your cost curve while your revenue curve keeps rising. But our model was that every time the revenue curve went up, our cost curve went up as well. So the dot-com bust happened in 2002, and we went down from 150 people down to 6, including an office boy, and we moved from a 2,500 square foot office to a 150 square foot office. So we saw the height of the dot-com boom from 99 onwards, and then there was this bust very quickly. And we kind of rejigged our business model to say, we believed in the business and we bought back the company from our investors at that time by taking a loan. And we then started saying that we cannot ride on the ecosystem because it doesn't exist, but can we build an ecosystem? So what is the thing that we did from 2002 to 2006? First of all, we ran a dhanda like a dhanda should be run. If we earned money, we paid salaries, we earned money, we made phone calls, we earned money, we traveled. We started selling software to cinemas. And one of the first lessons in life that I learned, that anything given free is not valued, because from 1999 to 2002, we were giving our ERP solution free to cinemas. From 2002, we started charging for it and layering services on top. And we had our order books full for the next 2 years. We then ran call centers on behalf of the cinemas as a cost plus model. We ran all the event promoters and managers came to us, and we ran their services for them. Ticketing services as a white label, not as a B2C facing company, but as a B2B sort of white label. We were the backroom boys. It was like a BPO, KPO operation. We built a CRM by learning on the job. So let me give you an example. Between 2002 and 2006, when we were running call centers, there was this guy, Mr. Khanna from Delhi. Every time he bought 4 tickets, it was for a family movie, and he would get it delivered to his home. And every time he bought 2 tickets, which was a sleazy cinema, sleazy movie, he would get it delivered to his office. Now, when you layer analytics on top of that, we could analyze that Mr. Khanna was having an affair. It was very apparent, right? And then we had this guy in Paharganj called Pappu Pelwan. Every 3rd delivery, the guy would bang the door and take the delivery but not pay us. So we started blacklisting. So, those were the early days of us learning what CRM meant, what analytics meant, and how do you kind of layer that on top of the stuff that you're already doing for the end consumer. We recall that when we used to do home delivery of tickets, it used to take 15 deliveries or transactions to be delivered every 4 hours on a cycle. A cycle as in on a delivery cycle. So the guys would go out on a bike, a mobike, and deliver 15 transactions in 4 hours and come back. And then we had this very big concert that we ticketed. I think it was a Bryan Adams concert. And we realized just with 2 days left for the concert, we had thousands and thousands of deliveries which were still to be made. And we were like, what the hell happened? And we realized that when it's a movie ticket, the average transaction size is 3 tickets. At that time, I'm talking 2002, the average price point was about $100. So 3 tickets is 300 rupees. Very easy for somebody to have that kind of cash in his wallet. If it is a concert, you normally got a lot more friends and family together. So the transaction size grew from 3 to about 7. And the average ticket price over there was $1,000. So it was 7,000 rupees. So when the guy went for delivery to the office or home, the money wasn't ready. So we were only being able to deliver 4 transactions in 4 hours, or 5 transactions as opposed to 15. Those were our early learnings, which we then embedded into our current business on how we need to fix and address those problems. But they were really controlled. They were on a cost plus model. And we learned these things up until 2006. So 2006, the market changed again, and we saw the web 2.0 or .com 2.0 as they call it. And we went out and searched for, we were seeking investment, and we had 7 term sheets that were issued. Finally, we went with Network 18. It's been a great relationship and partnership with them for the last, 7-8 years now. They've been our investors. And we started growing the business from there. One of the things that we learned in 1999 to 2002, 98% of our bookings actually came from the phone. And we were buying inventory. By 2006-7, when we launched Book My Show as a consumer brand now, 50% in the first month came from the web as opposed to call center. And today, of course, the phone is not what you and I know as a means of buying tickets, but the form factor has changed. Today, Book My Show sells 30% of its transactions and tickets, which is a fairly high number. We are the #1 mobile type payment application in the country by Google and Nielsen. So again, the mobile has come back a full circle, but it's really a data connectivity on the mobile on a smartphone as opposed to picking up the phone and doing a voice call. So, some of these things have come back a full circle in life. We've seen the dot-com boom bust. We saw the GDC, the GFC, the global financial crisis in 2008, where again, there was a downturn. But as things stand today, from 2007 up to 2013, internet penetration has gone up, broadband speeds have increased, data and hosting services have improved, cost of owning a mobile and cost of data and cost of voice has come down. Credit card, debit card, net banking penetration has improved significantly. Rates on debit card have come down. Number of bank customers in India have gone up. And it's really the youth story, right? So today, again, like I said, sometimes the reality in India and the realism and the opportunity, there's a vast difference. And neither of it is true. The gloom and the doom that everybody talks about is not true. And neither the euphoria and excitement is true. India is somewhere in between. And we've got to kind of layer that sensibly. Like I was talking to you guys earlier, there's 1.4 billion Indians, 900 million handsets, 700 million active handsets, 78 million to 80 million smartphone, but 18 to 20 million data connections. Now that is the reality. Again, when you come to the internet space on the laptop or computers, 1.4 billion Indians, 140 million internet connections, which is 10%. But a lot of those guys use the internet from their office and they don't have printers at home. But then the other reality is that you've got only 20 million transacting customers in the country, of which 10 million are only travel because of railways and travel agents. And everybody is fighting for this remaining 10 million customer base. But the other reality is that on Facebook, you've got 20 million boys and girls between the age of 18 to 20 who are going to get their first paycheck in the next 2 years. And the first time they will lose their e-commerce virginity will be on a low price point. And Book My Show fits in very well in that scheme of things because our ticket size and transaction size is really small. So we can actually drive that change on e-commerce because we are a digital product. And that's the other easy part. And largely driven by mobile in class 2, class 3 towns because it's easy to own a mobile, data connectivity is cheap, we're an online product, and the price point is low. So I think that's the sort of direction and where we are. So in terms of giving you a look behind the scene, Book My Show now is about 350 odd people. We're in 3 or 4 geographies across the world, but our real core focus is on India, where we are trying to dig a deep trench and really take ownership, go into class 2, tier 3 towns. We recently made an acquisition last year in December of a regional company called Ticket Green, where it came with 100 relationships in single screen cinemas. We signed the PVR deal. We've got 80% exclusive relationships with most of the large cinema chains, and we're really looking at, we're present in 130 cities, but we're really looking at the top 40, 50 odd cities in the country across our 7-8 offices. And we're largely now focusing on the tier 2, tier 3 towns, single screen cinemas, and the multiplexes will grow organically, and there are great customers. We've got really long and deep relationships with them, and jointly trying to build the space. On the non-movie side of things, there's a lot of action. You've got sport as a really large category. I mean, who would imagine one of the largest leagues in the world would come out of India, and it didn't exist. One fine day, 6-7 years ago, suddenly you had IPL. Basketball's coming up. Football is, I think, is going to take a disproportionate amount of revenue for the size in terms of volume. Football is going to be big. If you look at urban Indians today and look at societies, the kids don't play cricket, they play football. Basketball's coming in a large manner. Then, of course, you have the cricket fixtures. India is really the core and the hub of cricket, of the cricketing world. You've got then live events, electronic dance music, Sunburn, the Sunburn Arena. Electronic dance music is such a big phenomenon, and believe you me, I say that with a lot of humility. I didn't understand electronic dance music till we started selling it. And 2 months before we sold Swedish House Mafia, somebody said Swedish House Mafia, and I said, Swedish who? And today I have all electronic dance music on my iPhone, and it's a really, really vibrant category. And it's the 12-year-olds to the 20-year-olds or 24-year-olds which are buying. They don't even have a credit card, net banking, or debit card, but it's their parents who are buying it for them. Similarly, you have indie music, which is NH7, which is now in 4 geographies, and it's all about promoting local talent, and it's all about a festival. And we are curating that festival along with with OML, which is to say that we will do less, but let's build a better consumer experience. And it's fantastic because the local talent needs to be promoted, more of micro events, more of these small bands, which then have a platform and an experience where users can come and customers can come and hang around. Comedy is becoming really big. I think after India's roti, kapda, makan over the last 10-15 years, it's entertainment where people now want to spend on. And I always say this, that entertainment, food and clothing sales will go up in depressive times, and alcohol sales go up. So entertainment and alcohol sales always go up in depressive times because you want to feel good. And your discretionary spends on some of the large ticket items go down, but at least on entertainment and alcohol, you get a high very quickly. So I think we're in a good space, and that's really been our journey.
Hello. Wow, that was really inspiring for me as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure the panelists really would have loved your story as well. And I also run a startup, so I felt some of those pains which you went through between 1999 and 2006. And hats off to you, the way you have taken everything to where it is now. With that, I'll open it up to the panelists. They can ask their questions. Abhishek, would you mind starting with your question?
So Ashish, you have seen it all, and since it's the last 14 years. So since it's a mentorship webinar, would you like to talk about top 3 trend patterns that's going to see on the digital space in the next 2 years? And if someone wants to invest, say, about $1 million, can you guide, what are the spaces that people should look at?
So, in terms of trends, let me first use Book My Show as an analogy, and then, come to your second part of the question about the $1 million question, pun unintended. So, the first part is, you've got to stick it out. And I think, trends will come, trends will go, things will change. You've got to be laser focused on what you want to do and what you want to achieve. I don't want to be quoting Gita, but I should, because in Gita, Krishna talks about the Lakshya, he talks about the end goal. There are many means of achieving that end goal. And that's his discourse to Arjun. I think that's really the key. You must have that end goal. You must have a laser focus on what you want to achieve. You must have the grit and determination to continue to do what you can, because in India, the inflection point takes far longer than some of the other countries. If you were in the US, I would tell you something else. In Silicon Valley, you start up a venture in 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, you can become a billionaire, you can sell out, you can do what you want. But a large part of the problem with a lot of entrepreneurs in India is that they think like investors. The day they start a venture, they're thinking of their exit. Then why did you start it? That's the job of the investor, because he's looking at capital. He's looking at a return on capital. You should be looking at different metrics. Your metrics need to be great customer experience, great product. Can I build something which will make a difference to people? Can I do better for my end customer or user? I think those are the questions and metrics that an entrepreneur needs to ask himself. And only those are the ones that over a period of time will hold him in good stead, because the inflection point in India is not 6 months, not 12 months, not 18 months, or the trends. It takes a long time. Look at us as a story. I'm practically furniture in this company for the last 14 years. We are just about scratching the surface, because 4 billion tickets are sold in India. We are nowhere close to that. That's all of Africa, Middle East, Europe, and North America put together. But the price point is only, the average price point is only 60, 70 rupees. as opposed to $8. There are only 12 screens per million people in India as opposed to 120 screens per million people in the US. So trends will come. Right now, in terms of, if you were to look at social media, a lot of people, suddenly jump on the social media bandwagon. Mobile, everybody says you've got to be on the mobile, but you've got to do it right. So we looked at the trend, to answer your question, 3 years ago, that mobile will be an important form factor, at least for our business. We invested in a mobile team. A lot of people told me you're mad to invest in a mobile team and build a mobile team where it was zero. I mean, there was nothing. Today, 30% of our business comes from the mobile. And we think this will grow to the trend, if you were to ask me, in the next 18 months to 2 years. It will certainly cross 50% of our overall transactions. The other trend was on the social media space. Now everybody thinks, oh, you should be on Facebook, you should be on Twitter, you should have a handle. I am probably personally the most inactive social guy on Twitter, which I do agree is a shortcoming on my side. But on Facebook, I don't even have an account. But our company, like any good entrepreneur who's trying to save costs, 2-3 years ago, I stopped all social media sites in Book My Show. And I said, let's save costs. And it was a stupid thing to do on my side, because the trend was exactly opposite of that. We were trying to save costs by trying to improve productivity. But we realized that we had to imbibe social media to actually harness the power of social media. So we opened it up to everybody in the company, which is anybody can go onto Facebook and all of that today, on Instagram, on any sort of social site. And for the first 3 months, our productivity fell. But today, Book My Show has over 2.5 million fans on its Facebook. We have an 8% daily engagement. We have some of the highest shares and posts. And when you write something negative about Book My Show, or you have a problem, or you praise us, or there's a problem in your transaction, we use Facebook and Twitter to connect back, follow you, and solve your problem right there. So we don't look at social media just to, put up stuff. So those are the trends on the mobile and the social piece that we spoke of. Now, in terms of trends, Abhishek, to answer your question on the $1 million question, I think the B2C story in India is saturated. And the reason I say that is that it will take them some time to grow. If it's a digital product and if it's harnessing the power of mobile or social, I think there is still some leeway you have there. But if it is hardcore B2C operations-led business, we are still looking at only a 10% penetration in this country. We don't have an infrastructure that you can ride on, and therefore Flipkart and Mindtra and a lot of people are investing a lot of their energy, time, and effort in building that ecosystem, and it's not easy. In the US, for example, if you were to start a B2C company, you have a great idea. Customer service and your product is all you need to focus on. Everything else in terms of infrastructure, whether it's cold chain, delivery chain, tracking mechanisms, are all there, right? So I think in India, the trend right now for $1 million business, and where will you put the money, is going to be 3-4 member team, 5-member team. Maybe if I were to draw a persona, maybe a 3-4 member team out of a small town in India, building a great product which uses that investment to leapfrog and go to Silicon Valley or to a world market. I think that is the trend where I think those are investable ideas today. Look at InMobi, which is maybe the rock star of that sort of an investment, which is a product idea out of India which can be taken to the world and uses the Indian talent and diaspora to actually take it to the next level. And I think those are the $1 million boys and girls in smaller towns where there is talent but they don't have a platform, is where I think the money needs to go. And I'm not being idealistic, I'm being very realistic.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, thanks so much.
Right. So, great points, Ashish. I have one question following up on the social media bit. So I run a social media agency, and we work with film producers and promoters as well. And one of the questions they often come back with, what is the ROI? how many of the likes I have or the followers I have would actually go and watch my movie. And that's where we look at a company like Book My Show to come in and do some innovation. Have you looked at this area in terms of showing ROI for maybe producers or partners like PVR coming from social media, or you have any thoughts on that?
Look, there are a lot of things that can be done on social media, and let me tell you what have we done up to now. We have an application on Book My Show called Ticket Buddy. And what that application actually does is for you to buy an advance ticket, like a pre-booking of a movie. So let's assume there is Dhoom 3 or there is Krish, which is releasing later this year. I can buy a ticket, use my credit card, debit card, or net banking, add 4 friends from my face file, make an unpaid booking next to them, next to me, block 4 seats, and send them an invite which will come as a notification for them. They can then choose that seat next to me. Either they can reject that invite, they can do nothing about that invite up to 24 or 48 hours before the show, or they can buy that seat next to me using their credit card or debit card. So friends going with friends, but everybody paying for themselves. And that came about as a need in the market, because today when you go and watch kids go out for a movie, one guy wants to buy a movie ticket. He will then say, it's an impulse, hey listen, I want to go and watch Lunchbox. Then he's going to go and call 3 of his friends or family and say, hey, do you want to go watch Lunchbox? Then everybody decides, okay, which show, what time, what this thing. Then one guy goes and buys it using his credit card, debit card. Then they go for the movie. Either everybody then splits the bill, or then somebody says, hey listen, we'll go for a meal after this and I'll pay for it and we'll adjust the money. We took away that entire pain point. But the social market in India today is not large enough or that mature yet to harness the power of what we built as a platform. Of course, the fault is ours for not marketing the way we should also. The other thing that we've done is, today when you buy a ticket for Mumbai Indians or Delhi Daredevils, all of these are our partners. We've got 6-7 IPL teams that we work with, Formula 1. If you are buying a ticket on Book My Show, we have this little pop-up that opens, I am attending, I am not attending. And it automatically links to your social piece which says, I'm going for this show, I'm going for this movie. You can say thumbs up for a movie or thumbs down for a movie. You can put your review rating. It automatically gets posted to Facebook and goes onto your Twitter feed. So it kind of creates a 360 sort of noise, which of course is trackable. There are tracking tools like Clout, where you have a Clout score. Now, a lot of the guys don't understand that, but you can actually harness that. Now, the ROI really cannot be how many click-throughs, because let me put it this way. If somebody knew how to nail the success of a movie by doing all of this, boss, all of us would be millionaires. You don't know what ticks, right? It depends on the script, depends on the director, depends on the time you launch the movie. Jawani Diwani did really well because after IPL there was no movie. It got a disproportionate share. Lunchbox is a great script. It's a really inexpensive movie, but it's an outstanding script. It will do well. A movie of Salman Khan or Shah Rukh Khan releasing around the Eid period is the right time. Maybe the script may be weak, but it's the right time because it's a holiday period. Nothing that you do on the social will pull down the movie or give it that success, because the guy wants to go for a movie, he will go for it. But is it giving him that 360 exposure? Is it giving him the right sort of reasons to go for the movie early enough? Is he going on, does he want to buy the ticket on the first weekend? Because if he buys it on the first weekend, the price is 3 times of what it will be on a weekday. So he's getting a disproportionate share of the revenue if you create the right noise before the movie releases. Because a lot of people like me wait for the first weekend to know what friends and family are saying. By the time I get reviews, then I go and watch it on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, which the price is 1/3 of what it is on the first weekend. But if social media, which is immediate, which is absolutely real time, can create that noise, that is where the difference of that ROI will come. The guy will go watch a movie whether you like it or no, but is he going on the first weekend as opposed to on a weekday? And you can get some disproportionate sort of numbers coming for the weekend, which are 3 times the size. The other thing that we do on Book My Show is when you're buying a ticket for any of the IPL games or Formula 1, When you're buying a ticket, we have, if you've got a certain stand or a price point that you've chosen, it shows you seats that have already been booked, seats that are available, and there will be some seats which are blue in color and with a face file to the right. When you go and hover on those blue seats, it will show you the friends that you have added on Facebook or in your circle. Where are they sitting? Or if you go and hover on the face file, it will show you the seats that they are occupying, and then you can book the seats next to them. I think it's a really cool feature. It's a great product. It's a great innovation, but it remains that it still hasn't taken off and made a difference. But I think, to answer your question, there are some things that you can do, where we announce schedules of a movie, where we announce changes to the opening of a gate of an IPL game because there was a security issue, or there's a rain situation, and we use the social media and the power of mobile telephony and SMS and notifications to actually inform, engage our end users. And I think you've got to find that balance until a time that it really becomes monetizable and you can really show ROI. So I think, like I said, it's people say either show me ROI, or they say we must see ROI and it's social media, I must be there, or people thrash it. I say the truth is somewhere in between, and you've got to keep chipping away.
Thanks, Ashish. Thanks for answering that. Manish, would you like to, probably take the next question for Ashish?
Sure, Ashish. First of all, congratulations for the ET award and also for being young forever. I believe you started Book My Show in 1999. How did you cope up with the pressure from the stakeholders, especially in the harsh environment, .com bubble, and your staff coming from 150 to 6? And was it Krishna's message, the inspiration, or being Delhi is something like being Daredevil?
No, I don't think. I'll tell you the story and the journey. I didn't have a choice. I couldn't afford to pay anybody or have an office in 2002. So we had to go down. So what had happened in 2002 is that we bought back the company, and the founders and co-founders, Rick and Rajesh, we bought back the company, and then it 100% belonged to us. But in 2008, we had a similar situation, and we had a triple whammy. Number one, there was a strike in the film industry for 3 months because of producers and distributors were disagreeing on some revenue share. Number two, because it was an election year, IPL moved to South Africa. And number three, it was the global financial crisis, so nobody was buying software because none of the cinemas were opening new sites. So we had a triple whammy. We run a very democratic company. If you see my visiting cards, they have no title on it. None of us have titles. It's a very flat organization. Everybody is on a first name basis. What we did was, I went back to all the people in the company. And that time we were not 350. We must have been maybe 150, 200, whatever. And I said, listen, my lessons that I've learned in 2002, where we lost a lot of colleagues, it's very expensive to let go. Because when the markets bounce back, if they fall sharply, they bounce back, they're like a rubber band effect, they ricochet very quickly. We will have to retrain, rehire, and it's going to be far more expensive. So as far as investors were concerned, they said, shave off 20% or 25% of your costs. It was my obligation as the CEO to do that. But there was another medium. to do that. So I went back to every single employee and I said, look, let's take a 30% cut, 20% cut, and 10% cut. And certain people which are below a certain salary price point, there's no cut. Let's do a vote in the company. We got a 90+% resounding vote to take a pay cut of 30, 20, 10 based on your salary level, as opposed to saying, let's retrench 20% of the workforce. Once we had that vote, it was democratic. For 8 months, everybody's salaries were cut. We all, we went through the problem together. It was sink and or swim together. And these were lessons that I learned from 2002. The markets bounced back beautifully in 8 months, and we didn't have to rehire, retrain, and the cost was, I mean, it was bad karma to let go as well, right? So I mean, in the larger scheme of things, it was good karma, and I think it paid off. And let me tell you that we have this policy. We have a lot of people that leave or study while they're in the company. So even some of the guys that left us, our head of sales today, Avisha, was a part of that 2002 challenge that we faced. She's back as our head of sales. She's come back, and we have 7 such people that have at some various point of time gone out of Book My Show, but we accept our sort of people with open arms when they come back, and if there is a position and a role for them.
Wow, that's interesting. That's inspiring as well.
Thanks, Ashish. Sorry, I got dropped for a couple of minutes. That's a very, very interesting journey. And I mean, we've all heard the mobile revolution story and the digital revolution as well. And I mean, I'm just asking a follow-up on what Manish asked. It has been incredibly hard to find good people in the digital space. So, I mean, are you seeing more and more people coming in the digital space? What would be your advice for people who want to explore digital media as their careers? What kind of roles are currently being unfilled, and where the opportunity lies?
I think there is a desperate need for UX and UI in the country. I think there is certainly a desperate need for great mobile developers. There are certain areas in technology where there is a desperate need for cloud computing. There is a desperate need for analytics and business intelligence. And I think these are some 4 or 5 areas where, as the market's maturing, there is certainly a need. There are enough web developers. There are enough guys that can build a website. But are they building the right user experience? Is it responsive enough? Are they using the right tools? Are they future-proofing it? The right sort of user experience design sort of people. You will get designers, but they will be illustration designers. So I think there is a certain need within these areas. But what my advice is from a company standpoint of view or from an employee standpoint of view is to find the right talent. It's not about just the skill set and knowledge. A lot of people today are like mercenaries. They say, this is my price point. Anybody offers them a little more, they will jump ship, they will jump jobs, they will jump. That is why in our company, give more than an equal weightage to morality, integrity, fit with the organization, team player, and it's a very consultative and collaborative effort in recruitment. Teaching a guy on the job and the philosophy, of course, it's a two-way street where you've got certain things that you want to learn from the guy that comes in, because he comes in with his fresh ideas and talent, creativity. But there is also that you can teach certain things. We try and grow people from within. And today our head of customer care and support is somebody who started as a call center team leader with us, became a supervisor, and then eventually she is our head of our customer support team, which is 150 people. We run it in-house. And she's heading one of the largest teams in our company. Our 2 heads of operations and client servicing have grown within the system from our customer support and services team. So what I'm trying to allude to, it's not just about what areas, but it's also about the fit with the organization, what you are going to learn from the organization, what the organization is going to learn. And these 4 or 5 areas where I think there is certainly a need for talent. And if that talent doesn't exist, it's the obligation of the company to train or educate, maybe not within, they can go outside. And we as a company have had, I think, 6 people that have done either their MBA or course while they've been on the job, and we give them that leeway of leaving office early, not coming on weekends. We even have a loan, an interest-free loan program in the company. So if somebody wants to study, You can just put up your application, pick up a course, and there's an interest-free loan that the company gives you. So I think learning, training, and development needs are extremely important, and it's our obligation as a company, an obligation from the candidate who joins to find the right fit. And it's not just about the area of expertise.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I would request our panelist, Mr. Bhupendra, to ask his question.
Yeah, I am myself Bhupendra here. Basically, we are running the five-star hotel in Ahmedabad, and we would like to know that how we can help this Book My Show in the hotel industry.
Sorry, you're running a five-star hotel in Ahmedabad.
Yeah, so we want to know it that how it will help with